Now, Big Brother Naija All-Stars housemates Kimoprah and Doyin have been evicted from the ongoing reality TV show. Now, we know, Kimoprah came in as Biggie's guest, Doyin came in regular housemate, and they both brought the energy to the house. Now they've been evicted. They're here to share with us their experience. Joining me now from our Lagos studio, Kimoprah and Doyin. Lovely to have you ladies join me on Arise 360 today. Hi, Doyin. How are you feeling? And Kimoprah, how are you feeling as well?
I'm feeling great.
Fantastic.
I'm very well, thank you.
You're welcome. So I imagine it's been it's been a couple of intense days, I would say. You got out of the house, straight to interviews. Be honest, it gets exhausting, doesn't it?
Exhausting is an understatement, to be honest. Very exhausting.
Yeah, it's very tiring. We're mentally stressed, mentally drained, and we have not been able to rest.
But really though, Kimoprah though, I know that Big Brother is something you did and then you did again. When you were asked to be Biggie's guest, did you have any second thoughts about it?
This was actually the second opportunity. I was first called to be one of the main housemates, but unfortunately my work schedule couldn't permit me to go into the house, so I decided to stay back. So when they called me again to be a house guest, I'm like, okay, I have some time because of the production for the Headies. I work with HIP TV as a presenter. And I was like, okay, this seems plausible. This is something I can do. And they were like, okay, fine, let's do this. And we're supposed to be in the house for 2 weeks, but for some reason I was asked to stay an extra week, which I obliged. And it was an amazing experience.
So you wouldn't say you were evicted. It was more like you stayed the time, you stayed the duration you were supposed to stay in.
Exactly, with an extra week actually, because it was supposed to only be 2 weeks.
That makes a lot of sense. That definitely makes a lot of sense. Okay, now Doyin, let's talk about your experience in the house. Lots of ups and downs, lots of personality clashes as well. And there's been so many questions as to what's Doyin's real personality like. Is she nice? Is she not a nice person? How would you describe your time in the house and the amount of you people got to see and comment on?
I would say my time in the house was a roller coaster of emotions. There were times when I was very happy. There were times when I was very angry. There were times when I was very sad. So it was just up and down. But for the most part, it was like draining for me. And to answer your question, that was 100% me. I actually forgot that we were on a show and there were cameras. I was just reacting to whatever the show brought to me. And I was just reacting based on the best way I could have reacted in that moment. So I would say that Nigerians got to see 100% Doyin. I'm nice sometimes, I'm mean sometimes. It just depends on the situation surrounding it.
That's life, isn't it? I mean, you can't be all nice, right, Kimoprah? It's impossible for a person to be all nice and all kind. But then Nigerians will still have opinions and perceptions. Kimoprah, there was a big love triangle going on. I, for one, don't happen to believe these things are real. So do you want to clear my doubt? Am I right or wrong?
We are just friends. I and Chris have had an amazing friendship before the house, and so have I had an amazing friendship with Pere. But I know things tend to get very intense in the house, so you can't really tell what's real and what's not, because the whole house is a facade. It's not real. It doesn't exist. So we will see when the show is over if this triangle truly exists or not. But to my best knowledge, we're just all friends, and we're just having a great time in the house.
I love it. Back to you now, Doyin. I want to take things back to you in secondary school. And I'll tell you why I'm asking. What were you like? What was secondary school, growing up, university? What was that like for you?
Secondary school, university, I was a normal, regular girl, very intelligent. I was very book smart. And yeah, very social at the same time. So I've always been the type of person that can ace all my exams but still go to party. And my personality, I've always been that girl that, I'm not going to tolerate rubbish. Like if you bring it to me and I don't stand for it, I'll let you know that no, don't do this to me. So I've always been that person growing up. And I grew up like in a normal family, mommy, daddy, sister and brothers. So There's really nothing distinct about the way I grew up, just a regular girl.
Because I could tell that you're
With a huge personality.
Exactly, a huge personality. Apart from being, the one person who doesn't, I mean, to be honest, you should never have to stand for nonsense. But it's also clear that in the midst of all of that, Doyin, you are an emotional person. From the way you react when you're upset, would you describe yourself as that? A deeply emotional person?
Yes, deeply, extremely emotional, actually. Yeah.
So that emotion that you carry, that deep emotion, would you say sometimes people tend to abuse the fact that they know you are this emotional, which is probably why you have to constantly defend yourself, and not just yourself, other people as well. We saw what you did for Ilebaye in the house. It was almost as if you were watching it, you were just see, the moment I step into this space, it's all over for you guys.
I wouldn't say that people notice that I'm very emotional and they pick on it. I would say that because I'm very emotional and my reactions are very extreme, it's very easy for people to misunderstand my reactions. So a lot of times I feel the need to explain myself. And, by doing that, sometimes I over-explain and I'm like, you must hear it. You have to hear me. So, I mean, I'm very soft. I come across very... But that's just a front for me. I don't let people in easily because I know that once I let you in, then I'll do everything I can do for you. And my heart is very big. But also when I feel I'm being taken advantage of, or when I feel my love is being taken for granted, then I'm really ready to switch.
You want that now, easily. Ladies, before I let you both go, I do something with all the housemates where I tell them there's one person in the house, the person has to still be in the house. Everyone had sent a message to someone. I believe Uriel sent a message to, was it Ike, I believe? Kid Wire sent a message to Biggie. That was quite interesting. So I'm going to begin with you, Kimoprah. If there's one person in the house that you could send a message to, and they could possibly see it when they go out of the house, who would you send a message to, and what would you say?
I'll probably send a message to Cross. I would say don't let anyone take your kindness or your carefree attitude for granted. Just keep being yourself and people would love you regardless for who you are.
Noted. Now, Doyin, what about you? Who would you send a message to and what would you say?
I'll send a message to Ilebaye and I'll say to her that from the first day I stepped into that house, I loved her genuinely. I looked at you like a younger sister, and everything that I did was really from my heart. And I still have love for you. Till this day, I don't understand how we fell out that way or why we fell out that way. But when you come out, we'll have a conversation. And I'm here rooting for you, and I really genuinely wish you all the best.
Oh, Doyin, I tell you, forget what anyone. I feel like you are a real friend, but you're the kind of friend that if your other friend is quiet, you're like, talk to me instead. But thank you, ladies, for joining me on the show. Thanks for joining me on the show today, and I wish you all the best in your future
Thank you for having us.
endeavors. Absolutely.